Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Right, you obviously know I was in a rather unpleasant car accident on my way back from the National Hamfest, like literally 200 yards down the road. And for the last 2.5 months, my car has been impounded at a recovery yard. I've been down to the recovery yard to retrieve effects from the car, but not the car itself, because unfortunately I am now in a situation where I can't pay for it and it's going to get repossessed. So I've been to the car and got stuff out. And you can see that one of those things is the Yaesu FT2D. And two more things on top of the printer just there. I can probably tilt the camera just to show you that. The Midland 3001 and the Thunderpole T3000. They've now all come back out of the car. My main concern is the state of the Yaesu FT400. I don't know if it's working or not. So if I bring this in, we have here is a USB powered power meter, and I've got an extension speaker off shot for the FTM400 because the internal speaker, for whatever reason, just does not work. I've not figured out what's gone wrong with that, and it's because I've always been using it on an extension speaker. That's not really been something that's been priority. But priority right now is testing the radio, because that is USB powered. I would need to power it off a USB supply. I've been powering off a power bank, so I will have to go get the power bank, so I shall return once I've got the power bank. So regards that power meter, that was one of my Hamfest purchases that actually made it out of the car on the night, the other being the SDR Play RSP1B. And I think it was that and a t-shirt and a hat. So I'm just going to plug this into the USB port on the side. This will run off batteries as well, but I have tested this meter. This was a Nissan one from Martin Lynch & Sons. And when you plug it on USB, it puts the full 5 volts USB supply across the battery terminals inside. So my advice would be, do not run that meter on batteries, which is just down there actually, if it'll focus, because it might not. Tilt the camera down slightly. Not sure if it's going to focus on that. There is a backlight on it. So don't put batteries in it if you run it off USB. That would be my advice, because I have checked that. I could use the meter on the bench, but that only reads up to 150 megs. That's not ideal for what I want to do here, because this is a 270 radio. Just on the corner there, and the control panel is just over there. Now, at the time of the accident, this was transmitting APRS. So the APRS beacon should effectively still be engaged, and it will probably transmit. But we're on a dummy load, so we're okay. So first thing I'm going to do is turn on the power. It works fine. So I want to turn the beacon off. But because it's not got a GPS fix, it's not going to transmit a beacon. So we'll come off that frequency, because that's the repeater, and I have found on some occasions I can actually open it with a dummy load in here, and I don't want to do that. Can't be bothered to put it into it, man. Okay, let's go at 145/450, because that's normally what I use when I'm testing these. So at the moment, it's actually on the low power setting. So this meter is powered on, but the power bank's probably just turned itself off, because I don't think it's keeping a load on for very long. So if we can bring that meter back in, and somehow, so the camera can see it, seems to be, we're transmitting okay. Okay, that's just holding, so it's transmitting okay. There's a little bit of loss in that, because that's saying about 3 watts, but definitely transmitting fine. Yeah. Do I dare take it all the way up? Oh, yeah. So the long and short of it is it's actually transmitting okay on 2 meters. There's a bit of a discrepancy in what I would expect, because there'll be losses in the cables and everything. Okay, so we know it's transmitting on 2 meters. Okay, it seems to be transmitting on 70 sems. That's a repeater frequency, but we're into a dummy load again, so it's not a problem. Whoa! Getting some RF feedback into the cyanide meter there. But we're good. It is actually transmitting. That's all I needed to check to make sure it would power on and transmit. It is actually doing that. That is the important part right now. I'll put that back into memory mode and I'll set this back to... okay. Put it back there. So it's transmitting, it's working fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm happy with that. Right. So the next thing to do is... I don't need to check the Thunderpole T3000 because that was not on at the time of the accident and remained relatively untouched. The Midland 3001 was disconnected from the antenna when I found it, which means it had been disconnected from the antenna and I don't know why. The 400 had been left relatively untouched. I didn't get the hands-free mic out of the car because that's replaceable and it would have been too much work to try and get it out. So I left that behind, and that's not my problem now. That's replaceable. It's in the future when I need to replace it. But right now, this radio's got the hand mic, so that'll do fine. Alright, so I'm going to get the hand mic for the 3001, and I'm going to reconnect up the meter I normally use for that, because I'm only interested if the transmitter's still working. Don't need to necessarily check anything else. But what I can do is... hang on. Trying to do my signal generator here. Okay. Oh, that's not right. Okay, so I'm trying to just put into my signal generator the receive frequency, but I think it is receiving fine, so I don't really need to check this, but it's just for completeness. There we go. I've just got to figure out which whereabouts I need to go for that. I mean, I could just put the number in, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. So, you know. Here we go. It's 139 if I ever need it for reference. Okay. Okay, for some reason. CTCSS had been turned on here, I don't know why. Okay, that should be fine. Well, it's receiving, so that's okay. Yeah, that was just for completeness, really. But it is working. I'm satisfied that it's working. So that's really that done. Right, so I'll get on the Midland 3001 because, you know, I'm going to have to do that as well. So I'll set that up. Okay, next on the bench, I'll pan the camera around so you can actually see it. This camera's not the greatest. This is actually my Samsung Galaxy S8, which was also in the car. Surprisingly enough, and the police never took it. I don't know why they didn't take it. They just didn't, so... This is quite stressful because obviously this is all stuff I've got to do, which I didn't have to do because obviously I didn't need to do it. But I'm going to have to do it because I've got to make sure everything's working. So we've got connected up the Midland 3001, it's connected up to the test equipment. I will power on. And it should be on the last channel it was on, which was 19, and it certainly is. Okay. Turn that one down. I don't know if that works because that's the RF gain, I think. Yeah. Turn that down. Okay, I'm going to put the signal generator on just to make sure we're still receiving. So I'll enter into here. It's been a while since I've used this actually. It's not quite on frequency. It's man. It's about 5 off, I think, if I remember. Okay, so we've still got receive, that's a start. Right. Transmit. Yeah, we are transmitting. And the meter is just under the 4 watts. I'm not sure if it's calibrated correctly or not. Sometimes a bit weird, this meter. Yeah, it's definitely transmitting, so I'll just take that out of transmit. I wonder if it's detuned or whether that's just losses, I don't know. It seems to be okay, it's transmitting, that's the important part. Not sure about audio, because I'm not sure if the microphone was ever damaged. So let's grab my Midland 42. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2. I'll conclude by that it's working. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2 3. Right, I'll conclude by that it is actually working. So, nothing to worry about with the Midland 3001. Nothing to worry about with the Yaesu, which I think has actually powered itself off at the moment, which is interesting. It was powered up. Yeah, it's powered itself back down now by the looks of it. So there we go. The last remaining radio, I'm going to have to pull it off charge temporarily to do this, is the Yaesu FT2D. It was, when I found it, it was on the driver's seat, along with the device I'm recording on now, this Samsung Galaxy S8. So the police must have immediately ruled out that I definitely wasn't using it. And the jump starter, which is also going on to charge as soon as I can. On the plus side, at least I know my stuff hasn't succumbed to damage, and I've also managed to get these test leads that I bought at the Hamfest out of the car because I did need them for, well, that project really. Anyway, I'll go get the FT2D, and that will be the final one I'm going to test on this video. So we'll be back with that. Okay, so final radio is the FT2D. Long missing in action, we shall say. Been in that car for quite some time, but it's now removed. And it's taken a charge. I've taken it off charge temporarily. I've got the 400 switched back on. So I'll just turn the camera back round so we're looking at it. Like so. And Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform testing. Seems to be transmitting okay. There's a bit of a buzz on it there, but that's because I'm indoors. Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform testing. Well, I'm satisfied that it is working. It's difficult to measure the power with that power meter. So the only way to know for sure if it's doing the job is to actually take it out and do a test. So I'd have to put an antenna up for that. Anyway, I'm relieved that everything's been returned to me now. Apart from my main mobile phone and the main recording device, I'm still waiting on the police to get in touch with me about those. I'm feeling a bit better in myself. It was an absolute struggle down at the car because memories of the accident came flooding back, including when I saw the damage to the car. But we're getting there. So I'll get this back on charge, this handheld. The FTM 400, not 100% sure what I'm going to do with that just yet. The Midland 3001, when I get a car again, that's going in it. And the Thunderbolt T3000, well, it's not getting retired. I'm going to keep using that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it just yet. And at the end of the day, now I know everything's working that I know needs to work, I can then play a bit more radio. And because I've actually got an extra recording device now, I can actually record videos, and that is brilliant. So I'll catch you in the next one. 7.3 for now, and I'm going to go get this edited. Thanks for your patience as well. 7.3.